I mean, is Cooper Rush worth 2.5 points? I would hope Quinn Ewers put up a decent stat line against Arizona State. If he didn't, we have a real problem.
You can say the same thing about Creighton. Okay, they had the one good game against Kansas at home.
When Toast talks about the kicking market, it's like some earth is flat shit. Andy, true or false, this is going to be a dog walking.
Dog walking. This is my dog walking of the day. I think it's going to be very ugly. Dog walking. I think this is going to be ugly.
Hey, get this sword.
Good evening, everybody. Happy Thursday morning to you all. Yeah, I'll come out and say it. I look like an idiot defending Taijuan Walker.
Yeah.
I don't care. I don't want to hear about it. He gave up one extra base hit. It's a death by 1,000 paper cuts. Same thing Lodolo did. I played a couple big dogs. They didn't come through. It's all good. I still have over a unit today. I'm not tripping about it. It could be worse. I could have laid juice with the Cubs.
Toast is
It's all right. I'm also up over a unit today. I had 5 wins. I'm happy with it.
Toast is trying to act that because Taijuan Walker only gave up 7 singles, that it's not bad.
No, it's just that people are like, oh, he got rocked. Well, okay, I guess. He gave up some runs, but whatever. So, anyway, TV Jones, how was your day? I saw Spoon, you had a good day as well. That was awesome.
Yeah, up almost 2 units, so I'll take it. Brewers, hand up. We signed Eric Fetty for whatever fucking reason, and he came in after Ashby. I don't know. And then we didn't even put the NL Rookie of the Year in the lineup. Really could use a clutch hit from a clutch guy at the end there. So yeah.
Terang isn't clutch because he had multiple opportunities.
No. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about the was at the 7th inning when we had bases loaded. And then I guess Durbin came up. He was 3 for 3 prior to that point. So
when I saw Fetty listed, I thought that over was so free. I had an 8 in that game. I can't believe that did not hit. The Brewers with runners in scoring position today. I've never seen
12.
that from this team. Not this season, at least.
1 for 12. We're going nuclear tomorrow.
All right. Let's get into it today. Decent, not the greatest slate of games tomorrow, but there's a couple of things I'm looking at.
Just so everyone knows, it's 8 MLB games. We're doing 6 college football games after, if you want to stay.
And with Kyle Hunter's on, so that's always fun as well. He's awesome. Anywho, this game, Boston on the road again in Baltimore. Garrett Crochet on the mound versus Cade Povich. Keep trying to tell you guys, Baltimore's absolutely terrible. Neither one of you want to listen, so go ahead, Spoon. You can kick us off here. What's your thoughts
They
on
had
this?
the lead going into the 9th. I mean, they're not
So their
absolutely
lackluster
terrible.
bullpen gave it up.
It's not my bullpen. This is a spot where I would like to just look at an over. Cade Povich at home has not been good all season, 6.22 ERA. I think Boston matches up pretty well with him, can get to him. I don't think I'm actually going to play this because I have a hard time figuring out how the Orioles get enough runs off Crochet, but I don't expect him to go out there for a 3rd game in a row, go 7 innings pitched with 1 earned run. I think he has a little hiccup here, maybe gives up 1 or 2, gets out of there by the 5th, and we get some of the Boston arms, but I have a lean to the over.
TV Jones?
Yeah, I don't know. Crochet record win or something. I'm not backing Cade Povich whatsoever. Crochet, not a huge sample size. It's like 16, but I mean a 143 average, 33 or 31% strikeout rate versus lineup. Boston's hot. Roman Anthony's hot. He could probably just play Roman Anthony props too. Dude's been going absolute nuclear. As of late, no chance I'm getting in bed with the Orioles and Cade Povich on Crochet Day with Roman Anthony on the other side right now.
You can put Baltimore up for me. Very, very close to betting this.
After all that, he picks Baltimore.
I'm just saying, I was talking about yesterday. Today is a new day. Today is a new day, new matchups, new prices. That's why we love this sport. But okay, so first of all, we have Garrett Crochet coming off a fantastic start in Yankee Stadium where he went 7 innings, 11 strikeouts, 1 run. He was awesome. His previous 2 road starts to that, he got lit up in Houston and he faced a mediocre Cubs team and he looked all right. I will say that Baltimore looks dead and they look dead offensively, but their numbers versus left-handed pitching aren't terrible, completely terrible. And the pitches that they've seen, Framber Valdez, Ranger Suarez, Jesus Luzardo, Matthew Boyd, Eric Lauer. I mean, all those guys are decent names. I mean, they killed all the Rockies guys that they saw, whatever. But I mean, they've been seeing some pretty decent lefties. I wouldn't argue that Crochet or those guys are better than Crochet, but still, the righties are the lefties that they've seen are there. And then on top of that, I mean, you're probably not going to have Aiken in the Baltimore bullpen, but I mean, like, really, who cares? But you're probably not going to have Chapman. You're probably not going to have Wilson. Weiser went today as well. And Chapman's the one that really bothers me because he's been really good for them. So if he goes 2 of the last 3 and gets back-to-back days, like with saves, so be it. But with him 2 of the last 3 days, Justin Wilson on back-to-back days, and Weiser going today, I don't think there's like a huge advantage for Boston like there was today in the bullpen. And I actually think that Cade Povich could actually pitch well here tomorrow. I know that he hasn't pitched well, but he hasn't been pitching well. But I mean, his last 2 starts were against Houston. I mean, he got blown up versus Philadelphia, but I mean, it hasn't been absolutely terrible. And the Red Sox have been cooling down a little bit versus left-handed pitching. I don't think that we can expect him to continue to score 5 runs a night against left-handed pitching. I mean, Max Fried looked decent against them. Trevor Rogers did. They had been killing lefties, and I'm not sure if that's completely dead, but I do think there's a reason that this totals at 8. I think that both these guys can pitch well tomorrow. And if it's a coin flip in the later innings without Chapman in that bullpen, I think there's a decent shot that Baltimore can win this game. So give me 160 with Baltimore, and I will be betting Baltimore for sure.
Yeah, I kind of agree with you. Just I said Boston yesterday, just a classic like overreaction. Okay, this shit's a pick. Yesterday, now they moved 70 cents for Crochet. I mean,
exactly. And honestly, and I look stupid because I lost the Phillies today, but it's the same type of thing. I'm not mad I lost the Phillies, but I still stand on it. That price was ridiculous. So
no, it was the bad bet.
Later I'll get lucky. I knew that it
was a bad bet.
That's okay. This was a good bet today. First 5 under 4.5, easy money. Next up on the board though, Kyle Freeland and the Rockies versus Jason Alexander in Houston. I've already bet this game as well. I played another first 5 under. I played under 5 in this one. Sorry to make you type sauce. I forgot to put it in there. But a couple things that I really, really like here. I'm not like the biggest fan of Jason Alexander personally, but he has been pitching pretty damn well. He had 1 bad home start versus the Athletics and 1 really bad road start versus the Dodgers. But besides that, he's been really good. And obviously, if you're looking on our spreadsheets, you can see that he struggles with lefty bats, and the Rockies the Rockies have no lefty bats in their lineup, maybe 1, maybe 2. And they haven't been hitting right-handed pitching. I mean, since that Pittsburgh series, they haven't really been doing anything. They had a little bit of a hot streak at home, but besides that, they've completely died off. And Kyle Freeland, I mean, he hasn't really even been pitching bad considering the fact that he's been pitching in Cleveland and in Coors Field. And on top of that, the Astros are doing absolutely nothing versus left-handed pitching right now. So as long as Kyle Freeland doesn't get absolutely blown up, which I know that he did his last start in Pittsburgh, but prior to that, he pitched really good in St. Louis. He pitched decent in Cleveland. It was only 3 innings, but again, it was only 2 runs. As long as he doesn't just get completely blown up, I think this game stays under. I don't understand why it's 9, to be honest, with these 2 offenses. So I did play first 5 under 5. TV Jones?
Yeah, it would be honestly like an under 9. The Astros haven't really. I know if you look at this. I mean, Cade Povich, Garrett Crochet, Max Fried, Mackenzie Gore. They all got 4 or more off of. But getaway day, I just don't think the Rockies are going to really do much against Jason Alexander. He's been really damn good. And he's back at home now. You got Rockies looking to just get the hell out of town. I think this is something like a 4-1, 5-2 type of game for Houston. Maybe a Jason Alexander record win. That bullpen is fresh today too. After Fromber gave them 7 innings today, just absolutely shoved. So yeah, it'd be under 9 or some Jason Alexander record win or over outs potentially.
Spoon, your thoughts?
I'm right there with you guys with this under. I haven't bet it yet. I have a little concerns about like how accurate those spreadsheet numbers are versus lefties. The Astros just got their best bat back in the lineup with Yordan Alvarez, hit a home run today. He looks pretty healthy out there. And the lefties they're not getting to. I mean, we can say whatever we want about Trevor Rogers' strength of schedule. Like he's pitched elite to everybody. They only got 1 off him. And they saw Tariq Skubal. They didn't get anything off him. I mean, when they're seeing bad pitchers like Dietrich Enns Cade Povich, they're scoring runs. They got 5 runs off Crochet, 4 runs off Freed at the beginning of this month. I think this is a spot where they can score. I'm still looking at that under 9. It's my biggest lean here. I just wonder if maybe the Astros kind of tee off on Freeland a little bit early.
Fair enough. Next game on the board. What is that, Arizona or Atlanta? Arizona on the road in Milwaukee. Chrisman on the mound versus Quintana. Arizona, pretty heavy dog in this one. Chrisman's terrible, that's why. Spoon, you can kick us off on this one.
Yeah, Chrisman's terrible. This is a spot for me. Milwaukee Brewers -1, -113. I already bet it. Chrisman's had 2 decent starts in the major leagues this season, just giving up 1 earned run to the Colorado Rockies, 0 earned runs to the Diamondbacks, or to the Reds. I think this is probably not the best matchup for him here versus the Milwaukee Brewers, especially the Brewers offer a bad game. They don't play many spots where they have 2 bad games in a row. And Jose Quintana out there, he's looked really good his last 4 or 5 starts, quality starts. 3 of them. He's not giving up more than 3 earned runs in any of his games here recently. I don't have a ton of faith in this Arizona lineup, and I always wonder which bats might be missing that day. This team doesn't have a lot to play for. I just can't lay the money line price with the Brewers right here, so I wanted to take some juice off it.
TV Jones?
Yeah, it's going to be a Brewers team total over. I mean, Spoon just said it, Chrismat or whatever the hell. Hasn't really seen much competition. Now you're going to get the Brewers, who had plenty of chances today, 1 for 12 with runners in scoring position. Shout out Andrew Monasterio for getting thrown out in the 9th inning, being an absolute bum. I mean, they just had all those chances, and now you're going to get Chrismat, who will go maybe 5 at most if he makes it that far, and then it's just bullpen for that. And the Brewers left a shitload on base tonight. I think they get it back tomorrow. Over 4.5 -110. I will be on the Brewers team total over to absolutely shellac this Arizona guy right here in the bullpen once they come in. Only one element. There you go.
It would be over 8.5 for me or anything. I don't think I actually bet it, but this Arizona team has been pretty decent versus left-handed pitching and pretty decent on the road. The competition versus as far as lefties is concerned is kind of hit or miss, but Quintana's competition can be questioned as well. San Francisco, Cincinnati, Pittsburgh, Atlanta, Washington, Miami. I mean, so again, he's been pitching really, really well, but I think Arizona is more than capable of scoring a couple runs. And I do agree with Trevor that Milwaukee had plenty of opportunities today. I wouldn't be surprised if they put a 7 or 8 spot up tomorrow versus Chrisman. He is absolutely terrible. He used to be in San Diego. I know him very well. So over 8.5 for me, if anything. Next game on the board, Pittsburgh on the road in St. Louis, Braxton Ashcraft, Miles Michaelis. Trevor, you can kick us off. What were you pump thinking?
Just shout out Pittsburgh tonight. Got that +150 money line. I mean, brutal. You hold the Cardinals to 1 through 5, and then you put up 2 in the top of the 6th. Should have had both the first 5 there in full game, but we'll take it. Made money on it. Michaelis is ass.
Does suck. Damn.
Yeah. I was. I looked later and I saw 2-1. I was like, okay, perfect. When they get it? Oh, in this exact inning.
That's like the worst feeling too. Yeah.
Yeah, no thanks. I mean, you get Miles Michaelis here. Let me just pull up dipshit's numbers here. Shit. Yeah, I mean, I don't even really need to bring these up. It's Miles Michaelis at the end of the day. He's given up 4, 3, 2, 5, 2, 0 against the Padres. Funny. 5, and then 0 against Washington, 8-6. Like, he gets hit up plenty. Pirates have been hitting. I know they only put up 2 today, but they went against St. Louis' best pitcher, and they still got it done. Ashcraft hasn't been terrible. He's been actually pretty respectable. I think right now you got the better bats in Pittsburgh, and you got the better starting pitcher going with Pittsburgh. Give me Pittsburgh first 5 money line. You know what? Full game. I'll go full game. I'm not scared of the St. Louis offense. If they hit up Pittsburgh's bullpen, that's been all right lately, so be it. But give me the Pirates full game money line. I think they get it here and win the series in St. Louis.
I really want to lay it with St. Louis. Spoon. What about you?
Ugh.
Have you seen the Pirates bullpen, Trevor?
Who gives a shit? The Cardinals can't hit.
Okay. Spoon, go ahead.
So the full game value today with the Pirates came from having Bubba Chandler there to come in and relief, take up like 4 innings of that game. They won't have that available today. I was kind of looking at the Cardinals' first game, but I just have such a hard time trying to back Michaelis at this point. I like Braxton Ashcraft, what we've seen from him so far. He's really elite versus righties, and this is packed with righties. If you look at Cardinals lineup from top to bottom, you'll see 2 lefty bats tops. So I think he can pitch pretty well tomorrow. And then looking at Pittsburgh, their bullpen, I agree, it's trash. So I'm just going to isolate this to the first 5. I got plus 105 on Bet365. Plus money spot to fade Michaelis in the first 5 with a good young pitcher on the mound. I'll take it. Pittsburgh's offense is nothing to brag about. Neither of these offenses are, but the Pirates versus right-handers recently starting to improve. Just got 7 off Palante, 4 off McGreevy, 5 off Senzatella. Not necessarily the who's of pitchers, but this is Miles Michaelis we're talking about. I think they can get a couple runs and win me this first 5 money line.
Yeah, I'm going to be betting St. Louis here. I'm not a fan of Miles Michaelis in any way, shape, or form, but I mean, his home starts, not terrible. 5 innings, 3 runs against the Yankees, 6 2/3, 2 runs against Colorado, 6 innings, 2 runs against Miami, 5 innings, no runs against San Diego. Those are his last 4. I know that Pittsburgh has been really hot, but I also feel like the Cardinals are a short favorite for a reason. Okay, so even if Ashcraft is really good and he puts up zeros through 4 or 5 innings, 5 max, then who's going to finish this game? Santana's going off 3 of the last 4 days. Madison's 2 back-to-back in 2 of the last 3. Molzinski went tonight for 3 innings. Kai Nicholas with his 5.14 ERA. Do you want Colin Holderman closing the game for you with his 8.24 ERA? I just don't see how Pittsburgh closes this game out. St. Louis has everybody available in their bullpen. I think this is a really cheap price to play with St. Louis here especially considering the fact that Pittsburgh's been playing so well. I think we're getting a really cheap price with St. Louis here. Next game on the board. Cubs, Giants, Imanaga, Logan Webb. God, I really want to play the Giants. Spoon, you can start us off here.
Yeah, the Cubs look awful right now. I haven't bet anything in this game. I was looking at the Cubs money line. You can get like plus 105. Seems like a deal, and it's probably seeming like a deal for a reason. That lineup's not getting to righties. They're not getting to lefties. Logan Webb at home's got a 2.77 ERA on the full season. Just his last start at home, Tampa Bay, 7 innings pitched, 0 earned runs. I was also considering this under. You got Shota Imanaga on the mound as well. He's an extreme fly ball pitcher, and I think those kind of pitchers always play well in San Francisco. It's hard to hit home runs here unless you're like Barry Bonds, but San Francisco doesn't have any Barry Bonds types on that roster. Rafael Devers is probably their best bat, and Shota's really good at getting lefties out. 0.88 whip on the season versus lefties, 0.96 versus righties. I think that under 7, you can get a juice 7.5 is a good bet. I also like the Cubs money line. There's a lot of bias involved with that. Obviously, I'm a lifelong Cubs fan, but I don't expect them to get swept in this series. And I think Shota and Logan Webb can make this a pitcher's duel.
TV Jones?
Yeah, Giants money line. Logan Webb at home. The Giants offense is starting to click. Wind's blowing out. Fly it. And the Cubs are looking terrible. I know it's Shota, so maybe they get a little bit extra juice to show up, but it's getaway day. They get look forward to go kicking the shit out of the Rockies in Colorado. No, they're not. They think they can, but going to Colorado after this, I think they'll get up a little bit for this, but I think it'll be more of a pitcher's duel. I think San Francisco's bats are much better right now, and they just saw Matthew Boyd. They got 5 off of him. Now you're going to see a lefty 2 days later. And Shota is a guy who can get hit up, or he can just go out and shove. I think it'll be more of a pitcher's duel, but I think at the end, San Francisco is going to get a few runs across here, and the Cubs offense has been really struggling in San Francisco. So give me the Giants money line.
You can put up the Giants for me. I don't know if I actually lay minus 120 with the Giants. But I do think they have multiple advantages here. I mean, Logan Webb at home is perfect. The lefties in the Chicago lineup scare me just a little bit, but with it being in San Francisco, I'm not really worried about it. And then you have the Cubs they've been terrible versus right-handed pitching, which is one thing. And then you look at the list of names, like the starters that they've seen, and it just makes you laugh even harder. Verlander, Hendricks, Medeiros, Mizorowski, Chad Patrick, Brandon Woodruff, Tobias Myers, Peralta, Burrows, Ashcraft. I mean, it's really not that great of a list. I know Mizorowski looks good, but we've established well that he's really not that great. So and then as far as Shota's concerned, I 100% agree with Spoon being a fly ball pitcher and a place that you really don't have to worry about the home run ball. He should pitch well. But this San Francisco team has been playing really well the last couple nights. And I feel like with Logan Webb on the mound and a bullpen behind him, they didn't have to use anybody. Chicago has theirs as well, but it would only be San Francisco for me. I can't bet the Cubs versus a right-handed pitcher that's a decent one right now. They just can't do anything. So it would only be San Francisco. I don't know if I actually bet it, though. That's a hefty price to pay for more of a coin flip game, I think. But we'll see. Next game on the board, Atlanta on the road in Philadelphia. Cal Quantrill, Aaron Nola, TV Jones. Start us off.
Yeah. Cal Quantrill. He's been all right this year, but not anything to write home as of late. And this Phillies team has seen him a lot. They have a 283 average, a 592 slug, with a 315 expected batting average, and a 645 expected slug. They hit him, and they hit him hard. Philly back at home after getting swept by the Mets. I think they just kicked the shit out of them. Phillies minus 1.5. I know Aaron Nola hasn't been good. Atlanta's offense has, so maybe no over's not a bad idea. But I just think Philly coming off of that Mets sweep, I think they're pissed off or losing the series. I don't know if they got swept. They may have stole a game early.
Damn right they did. You're damn right.
Congratulations, you beat a fraud Philly team. But back at home in the bank, I think they're coming in pissed off. They're ready. They see Noah. They hit him hard. I think they crush him. Philly minus 1.5. And then Trey Turner over 2.5 hits, runs, RBIs. Plus, what was this showing? Plus 105. I mean, if you look at these numbers, he's sitting here 5 of 11, 2 doubles, 2 home runs, and then bat and leadoff. Obviously, you got Schwarber, Harper, Rio Muto, all behind him. So, and Bryson Stott's in the 9-hole, and if it comes around later in the game, Stott's been hitting the ball fairly well. So if he gets on base, I think Trey Turner has a chance to hit him in. So I like Trey Turner props tomorrow, and Phillies minus 1.5.
Spoon.
I don't think Cal Quantrill is necessarily going to get destroyed today. He's got a pretty good pitch mix to deal with lefties, and that's what I worry about most with this Phillies lineup. 1.13 whip versus lefties on the season this year. Who's really getting hit up by is righties. Phillies do have a few Alec Bohm and whatnot, but I was trying to get to an over. I haven't actually bet it yet, but I think Aaron Nola matches up pretty poorly with this Atlanta Braves team. Nola's seen this Braves team a ton over his career. Quantrill's seen the Phillies a lot as well. We're talking a lot of at-bats, so you just know his pitch mix. Nola's still coming back from injury. He's not in a good spot. He saw Washington twice, gave up 6 earned runs and 2 earned runs in those 2 games. I don't have a lot of trust for him. I think Atlanta knows him. I think they can get some runs off him. I also expect the Phillies to get Quantrill out of there before too long. This guy's not going 5 innings in any of his games recently. 4 1/3, 4, 3 2/3, 4 2/3. So we'll get a good look at that Atlanta Braves bullpen. I like this over. I just haven't pulled the trigger yet.
I agree with this over.
Yeah, over 9.5. We're back to our beloved overs at the bank here. I really like this bet as well. You have a really nice day in Citizens Bank Ballpark tomorrow. 75, 80 degrees with 10-mile-an-hour winds blowing out towards right field. Spoon mentioned it. Well, first of all, Cal's already been destroyed by this Phillies offense once this year. I think that was in Miami. I could have been wrong on that one, but regardless, they hit him up for like 7 runs back. That was way earlier in the year, but regardless. And like Spoon said, he's not going to stay deep into this game, and we're going to get multiple shots at this Atlanta bullpen. That's not good in any way, shape, or form. And then Aaron Nola, I mean, this Atlanta offense has really been picking up over the last month or so, especially on the road, on top of the fact that, I mean, think of the step up in competition you have from facing a Washington offense twice in a row and then an Atlanta offense that's kind of kicking right now. I know that their numbers versus right-handed starters aren't great, but Sandy Cabrera, Clay Holmes, that McLean kid for the Mets who's playing out of his mind. Did you know that he was like a state champion quarterback in high school too? This kid's like a four-star athlete or something like that. It's crazy.
Oklahoma State, he was the backup quarterback.
Okay, yeah, I was gonna say I learned all sorts of
That
things.
McLean guy, the McLean guy.
Yeah, dude, he's like
he looks like he's 45 years old.
I know, but dude, he plays every sport at like a high level. It's
And
nuts.
you guys all still bet the Phillies. And you guys all bet the Phillies.
And I would every
did not
single
bet
day
the
at minus
Phillies.
160. It's not. That's not.
And you'll
I wasn't
lose every
basing
single
it.
day.
That's okay. Yeah, the Mets fan after 2 wins, feeling real good about themselves.
World Series.
What? Grimace. But yeah, it would only be over for me. You're going to get plenty of shots at those bullpens. And as far as the Phillies bullpen is concerned, I mean, I'm not really in love with them either. Besides Duran, and I mean, everybody else can really get got. So it would only be over for me.
Duran can get got too. We just saw it again.
Yeah. I know. That's what everybody was saying about Hoffman today. Didn't work out, did it? Jay's up. Next game on the board, Miami on the road in New York. Adam Mazur on the mound. Clay Holmes on the mound for the Mets. Spoon, you can kick us off here. Yeah, this is a hard one.
Yeah, Mazur on the mound for the Marlins. This is a guy coming over from the Padres organization. Anytime he's been brought up, he hasn't been that great. He's not doing well in AAA right now, and he really struggles versus left-handers. Walks them constantly. I think this is just a game where the Mets put up a ton of runs. Also, this Marlins team, as soon as they see bullpen arms, every single game, it seems like they put up 2-3 runs. I'm on the over 8.5 here, minus 118. Clay Holmes has been pretty good this season, but he's also shown the ability to get hit up. And these Marlins bats, they don't look the best on paper. If you just read their names off, I'm sure they don't have the highest stats, but I think they find a way to get 2 or 3 runs up on the board. And I expect the Mets to put another big number up. They got 6 today. I could see 6 or 7 tomorrow.
Yeah, I was looking at that over as well. I didn't pull the trigger, but it's really hard. I mean, this Miami, I mean, this is going to be the 3rd time that they've seen Clay Holmes, so that's a positive. But I think the Mets should have no problem putting up runs here tomorrow, and you just kind of have to hope that Miami scores some runs. But I have a hard time believing that they don't get a couple off of Clay Holmes. It would only be over. I haven't betted either. The weather in New York isn't like fantastic tomorrow, but it's not terrible either. It's like 75 degrees or something like that. But yeah, anyway, TV Jones.
Yeah, Mets over 5.5. Spoon already went over it. I mean, Mazur, I mean, if you look at last 30 plate appearances versus lefties, I know he's pitched 1 game, but 923 xFIP, 858 expected ERA, 25% strikeout rate, yet 33% walk rate in those, 60% hard hit, 40% barrel. Now you're getting a Mets team that's cooking. You got wind blowing out. And then, I mean, Mazur in the minors, 141 whip with 21 walks, 51 strikeouts, 14 homers given up to lefties. And then his last couple of outings, he's given up 2, 4, 5, 0, 4, 2, 4, 4, 3. I mean, he's been getting hit up. And then this Marlins bullpen too. So I think Philly destroys him. The Mets destroy him. So over 5.5 plus 114. Take that.
Fair enough. So it looks like we're all leaning towards runs tomorrow in Queens. All right, next game up, Yankees on the road in Chicago. Excuse me. Will Warren, Davis Martin. Spoon, you can kick us off here. Hefty price for a Yankees team right now. It's muted.
Yeah, this is a spot. I could only look at like the White Sox first 5 or maybe a total in this game. I don't think Davis Martin is terrible. I see the ability for him to pitch well in a lot of these games. I'm probably not going to wind up with a bet in this game. Whenever you have sides this juiced, it's just tough. But it'd be White Sox first 5 or possibly an over in this game for me.
TV Jones.
Yeah, I don't know how you don't go over. I mean, you got wind blown out to right field, 11 miles an hour again. Davis Martin, not a guy I want to back. And then 18 plate appearances, nothing serious, but The Yankees have a 375 average and a 500 slug. Expected 309 average, 423 slug. Ahmed Rosario 2 for 3, 2 doubles. I don't even think he'll probably play, but other than that, I mean, this team still. The Yankees have been just absolutely crushing. They beat the hell out of these terrible teams. So I see plenty of runs. I think Will Warren can give up some to this White Sox team. You know, they've been hitting all right. I know they got their doors blown off them tonight, but you know, overall the last week or week and a half, they've been able to hit the ball. So yeah, wind blown out 11 miles an hour. Will Warren, worst way from home. Yankees bats are absolutely just rocking everybody, and they beat the hell out of bad teams. So give me the over 9 in this one.
I'm with TV Jones on this one. I don't hate the Chicago side, especially at that price. But as far as the Yankees are concerned, don't really worry about them on the road. Usually I would most of the time I would come on here and say I don't really worry about the Yankees bats now that they're out of Yankee Stadium after hitting a whole bunch of runs. But if we remember really outside of that Boston series, these Yankees bats have been cooking. St. Louis, Tampa Bay, the Washington series, the bats have been cooking. So Boston shut them down. And keep in mind, since June, I think 15 was the stat that I saw, Boston has like the top 3 guys in Major League Baseball as far as ERA is concerned. So
who's number 1 on that list?
I think Trevor Rogers. I think it is. So for sure. But Brian Bale's on there too. So
guy sucks.
Don't worry. So don't worry.
It must be a bullshit list.
It's very absurd.
So and then on top of that, so anyway, the Yankees bats are fine. And then as far as the Chicago bats are concerned, for one, Will Warren on the road really hasn't been great. I mean, at home, he's been really good, but on the road this year, an ERA over 6, a whip over 1.6, and a xFIP that's almost 4. The xFIP isn't bad, but the Chicago team, I know that we talk about them a lot versus left-handed pitching, but over the last couple weeks, 30 days, they're a top 10. Over the last 2 weeks, they're a top 15, 16 offense in Major League Baseball versus right-handed pitching. They're not seeing anybody great, but at the same time, Will Warren hasn't shown me anything on the road that he's going to just put up zeros here, not to mention the fact that he does struggle with lefties, and there may not be the best lefties, but Chicago's going to have 5 lefties in the lineup tomorrow, including their 2 best hitters in Tauchman and Teal. Over 9 for me. Trevor mentioned the weather as well, so I expect some runs here in Chicago tomorrow.
We're about to do the college football video. This is going to be the last time you see TV Jones' face for a while, guys. Do you want to?
I might do record if you guys are going to record a video early. Just hit me up. I could probably hop on for that. But
if you guys haven't heard, Trevor's joining the Peace Corps.
Yeah, I have my Peace Corps mission South Sudan starting next week, so I'll be gone. Psych. We got college basketball starting back up on the Pump Fake Pod. Tuesday, we're doing pre-conference previews and whatnot. We're going to have some guests on and whatnot. Leading up to basketball, 10 weeks away, people.
Dude, did you see how cowardly Duke is? Not one game on the West Coast the whole year.
Oh, they're soft. They've been soft forever.
That's called the Pump Fake Pod, by the way, is the name of Trevor's channel. They're doing college basketball conference previews. So when college basketball, you might see him on here for the rest of the season, but when college basketball starts, he'll be back on this channel all the time. But he has another channel where he has a couple hosts. It's funny over there. So yeah,
fantastic.
Yeah,
fast and loose, baby.
All right,
I do have a play for this Georgia Tech game coming up. Haynes King over rushing yards.
Haynes King over rushing yards. All right, let's talk college football. See you guys later.
Have a good night, guys.
See you guys.
All right, it is Wednesday, which means Kyle Hunter's here to talk some college football. We got 6 games on the slate. Make sure you give him a follow on Twitter. I'll put his a graphic up where he could tell you where to find him at the end. But we're gonna get right into it. 6 games. We're starting with Georgia Tech, Colorado. I couldn't get to a bet on this one. I have a lean towards the under, but go ahead. You have the floor, Kyle.
So, I think the under has already gotten smashed so much that would concern me. This has really come down a lot. I'm high on Georgia Tech as a team that really could make some noise. I think Buster Faulkner is a great offensive coordinator. He does a great job putting his players in the best spot. Haynes is an underrated running back, and Haynes King is tremendous. I think everybody knows that at this point. They did lose a lot on the offensive line, but Brent Key is good with fixing up offensive lines. I think they will be in pretty good shape there. Georgia Tech has one big weakness as a team, their defensive line. They lost 7 of their top 8 guys. run defense concerns me some, but the question is, can Colorado take advantage of that? We haven't seen them be able to just line up and run the football in the last couple seasons. Obviously, Colorado lost so much from the last couple seasons. Shadur Sanders was fantastic. Hunter did a little bit of everything. The defensive improvement under Livingston is what impressed me the most from Colorado last year. I mean, this team was really bad defensively a few years ago. They really have gotten much better. I think Faulkner and King can probably get enough points here. I have a lean to Georgia Tech. I just don't know that it's quite good enough value for me to pull the trigger on this one. But if I had to bet it, I would bet Georgia Tech in this game.
I agree with everything you said there. I said lean towards the under because I'm just expecting a lot of running the football. I'm a little curious of what Colorado is going to do offensively. Not that Salter isn't talented. Of course he is. He was a monster in 2023. But is Colorado going to run the football a little bit more this year? I mean, their offense is just built a little differently. They went from the superstar NFL quarterback, the superstar NFL wide receivers. Now the strength of that team is the offensive line. Seton is one of the best offensive tackles in the country. Xavier Hill is also a guy that could be a high NFL draft pick there. He's going to start at guard, right or left guard. I'm not sure which. But they've got a loaded offensive line. They've got a quarterback in Salter who, when he's at his best, I think he's using his athleticism just as much as his arm. Is Colorado going to run the football this year? It's kind of hard to picture because they didn't run the ball at all when Shadur Sanders is there at quarterback. So interested to see what we're going to see out of that offense this year. Completely agree with what you said about Georgia Tech, and I honestly think they're getting a lot of hype. I think every bit of the hype is warranted because their offensive numbers from last year are a little bit watered down by the games where Haynes King was either out or not healthy. If you just isolate it to the 8 games where he was healthy, Georgia Tech, I'm going to put them on the screen so you guys can see. Georgia Tech's offensive numbers are crazy in those 8 games. And there were 2 games where he missed, and then there was 2 games where he was playing, but there was a shoulder issue where he didn't have full range of motion, so he wasn't 100%. When Haynes King is healthy, Georgia Tech's offense is very, very good. And with him and Jamal Haynes back, it's hard to see that offense being bad this year. That being said, what you said about Livingston and the Colorado defense, I mean, this was a top 25 or a borderline top 25 defense last year. They lose a lot of production, but who's to say Colorado isn't a solid defense? I just think a lot of running the football. I'd lean under, but couldn't get there anywhere. Also, just a quick note, I'm reading that Colorado has injuries on the offensive line, but from what I can gather, it seems like most of the main pieces did participate in the last scrimmage, so I think they'll be fine. They weren't really releasing details, but it looked like most of the main pieces did participate in that last scrimmage, so hopefully they're all healthy there on Colorado's offensive line. Scoop?
Yeah, I'm going to go with Georgia Tech here. I like Kyle Hunter said, it feels like they're just a complete team this year. They're one of the top offenses in the ACC, pretty much along with Clemson. I think Haynes King improved as the season went on last year. They returned their running backs who were awesome last year. They got that kid from UPenn who fills out their running back room. Their wideouts are all solid. I know, like Sauce said, they're going to have a nice defense, I think, Colorado, even though they lost some pieces. The thing is, I'm just not sure about Colorado's offense. I'm personally out on Salter. I think he took a big step back last year. I think he's a lot worse than Shadur, and you do lose 3 NFL wideouts. So they do reload their line. It's a solid line. I'm not sure if that's going to matter much. Like you said, if they're not going to run the ball, I would imagine they should. Georgia Tech doesn't have a great D-line to begin with last year, and now they have a bunch of transfers in themselves on that line. I don't know if that's good or not because their line last year wasn't that solid anyway, but I mean, Colorado's O-line should really kind of have its way with Georgia Tech, but I just don't see Colorado running the ball as much as they should. And I'm not trusting Salter to throw with new wideouts and against Georgia Tech's secondary, which is their strong suit. So I get Colorado's transfers should be good, but you don't just lose your top talent and get going right away. I mean, you saw them last year against North Dakota State that they barely won that opening game. It's hard to get going on opening day. And plus King's mobile. So as good as Colorado's front 7 is, he's going to scramble, make some plays, and it's just is a really solid offensive line that King's going to be behind. So it really doesn't bother me that Colorado's home. It's just a newer roster here that may take some time to gel, and this really is going to be the ACC is one of the best teams this year. So I'm really high on Georgia Tech. So I think Georgia Tech's going to win here. I think 4.5 about the right number, to be honest. So I think that's it's going to be right around there.
I'll go under. I honestly wouldn't be surprised if Colorado pulls it off and Coach Prime shocks everybody. But I'm going to go under or pass. Didn't bet the game. By the way, if you are trying to take Georgia Tech, it looks like there are a couple 4s left. Most sports books are up at 4.5 now, but you can still find a 4 if you look. Next game, I bet this one, but I literally saw it and I was like, it was a 61.5, and I was like, oh, that's closing at 64. And I just took the over. It's not I still don't even know what either of these teams are, but based on what we saw in week 0, I don't know if Phil Longo is going to be playing in many low-scoring games this year with the personnel he has there at Sam Houston. Remember, they lost their entire defense from last year, and also with Phil Longo coaching the team, it's an entirely different style. I mean, we should see a fast pace, a lot of throwing the ball. Can Hunter Watson even play quarterback in an offense like that? So I did bet the over 61.5. It's at 62.5 now. Yeah, I just think we're going to see maybe blind overs in Sam Houston State games until for the foreseeable future. So that's what I'm on. Kyle Hunter?
I think Sam Houston scores points in a game like this. I mean, after you see Idaho State move the ball the way they did, I mean, can we think the UNLV is going to stop Sam Houston here? I wouldn't expect it. Sam Houston definitely sped up their pace last week compared to what they were last year. Longo wants to play quickly. I think Watson was okay in the offense. Hear me out on this. I don't know that Sam Houston played quite as bad as the final score would indicate last week. They were actually ahead for a decent amount in that game, and they were 2 for 14 on third down. Western Kentucky was 11 for 19. Sam Houston actually had more yards per play than did Western Kentucky. So I think that's why we've seen the line move towards Sam Houston here, partially because people want to fade UNLV, partially because Sam Houston probably wasn't quite as bad as the final score indicated. One note is this game's being played at Shell Energy Stadium, MLS Stadium, so it's not actually a home game for Sam Houston. Probably give them a little less home field advantage than normal. But even with that, we've seen the line move heavily towards Sam Houston, which kind of tells you the market sentiments here. Idaho State, 53% standard down success rate last week, 555 yards of offense. UNLV was really fortunate. They were +3 in turnover margin in that game. They could have easily lost that game. They badly missed Woodward and Jalen Catalon. I think Sam Houston will have trouble stopping Jaden Thomas here. Calandria looked like the guy at quarterback. Big play potential either way for a guy like Calandria too. He could throw a 50-yard touchdown. He could throw a pick six, make a big mistake. You never know with Calandria. I think Sam Houston against the spread or team total over is what I would look toward here. The over team definitely makes sense to me. I think the over keeps going up in this one, and it makes sense based on what the defenses did and the pace that this will be played at. Lots of big plays both ways.
Agreed. Yeah, I did take the over here. And what you said about Calandria is probably music to Scoop's ears. He's a bona fide Calandria hater. He does not think
I know Calandria, so yeah, I've hung out with that guy.
Oh, have you really? I didn't know that.
It's my friend's cousin. So
I didn't even know.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I had that under in that UNLV game last week. I knew UNLV's offense would struggle, which it did. I just did not expect Idaho State to put up 31. That's just bad. I just don't trust either of these teams. I mean, how could you really? Sam Houston hung with Western Kentucky, like Kyle said, actually as much as they could before falling apart late. I'm still not sure. I guess it's Calandria that's going to run QB for now, and I think Orgy's going to probably take a back seat here. Calandria played pretty well. It was a bad FCS Idaho State team, though, but this is really the same kind of defense Sam Houston's going to put out. So, I mean, they gave up close to 500 to Western Kentucky. Jaden Thomas should definitely rip some runs here. He was solid last week. Should be solid here. If you're going with a side, I feel like you can make a case for either team, honestly. Both have such bad holes. I know Hunter Watson didn't exactly play the best game. It wasn't bad. He has flashes, though. So if UNLV plays, like they did last week, they could easily cover this number, I feel. Sam Houston can. But UNLV does have better talent on this team. They obviously didn't put it together last week. I'm kind of with Sauce. I feel like this is an over game or a pass. I can't really pick a side and feel comfortable with it. Even if this game was like a one possession type spread, I still wouldn't feel I still couldn't be happy with either side. So, I mean, if you're giving me 9.5 with Sam Houston and the way UNLV looked, I would take Sam Houston. I know, like Kyle said, it's an hour away from campus, and they're playing like you said at the Houston Dynamo Stadium. But yeah, I would take Sam Houston if I was taking a side, but I would definitely go over here. I think both defenses are just pretty bad.
Cool. And I did bet that over. I have over 61.5 in my pocket, which was a little late to the party because you could have got 58.5, 59s if you jumped right at open. Next game. All right. Kyle Hunter, I'm giving you the floor. You picked this game. I did not originally have a bet in this game. I don't know what you're about to say.
I actually didn't have a bet in this game either, and then I looked at it, and I actually have a bet, so I'm curious if I'm same on the other side of you
I placed a bet this morning when I was prepping for this show. I was like preparing some notes because Kyle Hunter wanted to talk about this game.
I feel like I'm on the other side.
I ended up placing one. So, all right, let's give Kyle Hunter the floor. He picked the game, and then we'll share what we did.
I feel like there's pressure on me now that you guys both bet this just because of, so now more scrutiny. It's rare to see a Big Ten team on the road against a team like Tulane. They're an underdog as well. Sharp Action is really like Northwestern here. Now, I'm not going to be that guy, but some of the people that took Northwestern +8, +7.5, I'm pretty jealous at this point. I was focused on a lot of other things when people were hitting those lines months ago. But, I think that was a good play. Whenever you see a low total like this and a favorite of, a touchdown or more, usually the dog's going to get hit. In this case, Northwestern took a lot of money. I will say this. I think Northwestern has had just atrocious quarterback play the last few years. They just need somebody to be half decent on offense at quarterback. And Preston Stone, I know some people are going to say Preston Stone a little bit hit or miss. Preston Stone's a massive, massive upgrade from what they've had at quarterback. I think that Northwestern will be able to score points here a bit more than most people think. Tulane lost a lot defensively and offensively. Mensah was very good. I know BYU had a good season last year with Retzlaff, and we're assuming that he'll play here a good amount. But Retzlaff did have 18 turnover-worthy plays last year. He had some games where he had some pretty bad turnovers that really did hurt them quite a bit. Hughes is a big loss at running back. Northwestern doesn't have elite talent. We know that, but they find ways to be competitive, win games. Braun's a good coach. I like Lujan, the offensive coordinator. It's a second year for him. I think they look better on offense with Preston Stone, improved running backs, the offensive line, a second year in that system. Since I couldn't take Northwestern plus the points because it's under this, I'm going to take Northwestern team total over 20.5 and think that they get some points here. All right, now I'm excited to see what you guys have to say about this one.
You chose wisely. Go ahead, Scoop. Take Tulane.
No, man. Call me crazy, but I'm on Northwestern.
Let's go.
Listen, Tulane lost Mensah. I know Sauce will say he was overrated anyway. But you're still losing him for Jake Retzlaff. And like I said in the preview, I don't think Retzlaff is as good as people think. Like Kyle said, he didn't look good in a lot of these games. He was all right. Now he's coming with high expectations, retooled offensive line. Ty Hughes, like you just said, is gone for the running back room. They lost their top 5 receivers. And I really like this Northwestern defense. Their front seven's very solid. They get a few defensive linemen coming back from injuries. Ulane's back at linebacker, who led this team in tackles last year. I really like Karlaftis coming in from Purdue. So I really love their front seven. I think they can definitely cause some problems there. And I know the secondary, like Kyle said, they don't have a lot of talent, but they didn't exactly cause problems last year for teams. Even though they lose 3 starters here, I like their transfers coming in better than their team was last year. So I think Tulane's going to have a harder time moving the ball than people think. And like Kyle said, Preston Stone at quarterback is 5 times better than what they had last year with Lausch and White. So, and the passing game last year for Northwestern wasn't existent. They had like 7 touchdowns passing. So everyone stacked the box. They knew they couldn't throw the ball. I think it's going to be a lot different this year. The running backs return. You have a solid offensive line with Northwestern, and Tulane did lose a lot of pieces on his defense. Plus, you got the new offensive coordinator. He's from South Dakota State. He's been there a while. South Dakota State's a powerhouse in the FCS. Obviously, you guys know that. But he's going to have this team more balanced. Their defense is going to improve just because they have any kind of semblance of an offense. So I feel like this is going to be a 1-score game in the 4th. I wouldn't be surprised if Northwestern shocks everyone and wins this game. So, I think Tulane took a little bit of a step down this year. I think this game's the line's also high just because it's like, it's Tulane. Tulane's the powerhouse of the American Athletics. So, I think this is a little too high against a Big Ten team. I think Northwestern's gonna win here, personally.
Absolutely. Couldn't agree more. And yeah, I think Northwestern can win this game as well. I did take the +6.5. As Kyle mentioned, if you were on this in early June, you're holding more than a touchdown. I was nose deep in baseball season at that point, but you could have got a much better number if you acted earlier in the summer. I don't care, though. I'm still happy with my +6.5. And the more I look at this, the more I like it. Kind of feel like we should just throw last year out for David Braun. It was his first year with the program. I mean, not only did he have insane shoes to fill with Fitzgerald or with all whatever went down there at Northwestern, not only did he have some crazy shoes to fill, but also they didn't have a home stadium. He didn't have a ton of returning production back there. So I'm not making any judgments about Braun as the head coach based on last year. Now it's year 2, and let's be honest, they got significantly better on both sides of the ball. Like Kyle talked about, Preston Stone, the fact that he's capable of playing quarterback at the FBS level means they took a giant step forward because they didn't have that last year. They had Lausch for a lot of the year. They also had Mike Wright in there. Just didn't get the best quarterback play, like Kyle said. Now they bring in Preston Stone. The offensive line should be better. They did well in the portal. They bring back both RBs. So the offense takes a step forward, and same with the defense. They didn't bring back quite as much production on the defensive side, but Scoop mentioned it. They killed it in the portal with Carl Laftis. They brought in a linebacker from Iowa State that's been playing the last couple of years. They brought in a 2-year starter at corner. Fred Davis, Dylan Tatum from Michigan State was a starter in 2023, missed last year, injured. So they bring in a couple pieces in the portal that'll immediately start and impact this defense. Northwestern got better on both sides of the ball, and Tulane lost a lot of production. Now, Tulane is still the best team in the American Athletic Conference. I'm not saying otherwise, but laying 6.5 to a Big Ten team, nah, I think this is, I probably would make this 3.5. I honestly, if I was making this game, maybe even 3. Which probably is crazy to indicate that I have that much of an edge, I know. But I'm comfortable on my +6.5 here. I think Northwestern can win. Northwestern +6.5. Let's do it.
Let's go.
Next up, the big one, Texas, Ohio State. Why don't we let Scoop Bat lead off here on the biggest game? The biggest stage, Scoop.
I'm not huge on the marquee games. We were just saying this before. I'm going to bet it just because for degenerate aspects, but I still feel like there's better value in other games. That being said, talking to the guy with an Ohio State hat on, I'm gonna go with a Texas 2.5 point dogs here. I think it's 1.5 now, right? I think I just saw them pop up.
There's still one. It's bouncing around between 1.5 and 2.5. Okay. You could still get 2.5 if you look.
Yeah, it's really a toss-up for me. I mean, how good would Sayan be? How good would Arch Manning kind of handle the pressure of basically being a god? Because that's what people are like hyping him up to be. So I know these aren't the same teams that just faced each other 8 months ago. Both new quarterbacks. I mean, Ohio State is 101st in returning production. Texas is 103rd. So there's turnover all over the place. I think Texas is in a little better shape. They have Arch, who played in a few meaningful games last year. Sarkisian kept both his coordinators headed into this one. Ryan Day has Hartline and Patricia now. And Hartline's calling the plays, something he's never done before yet. So and with a new quarterback. And really, he's playing a really tough defense. Texas defense, especially their front seven, a little weaker in the secondary, I think. But, you know, with Sayan back there, there's no saying what he'll do. I
see what you did.
So clever. I'm so clever. But no, both sides are dealing with, you know, basically 4 new offensive linemen against a pretty stacked front seven. It's going to be hard to score points, I think, especially in the first half. Both sides lost pieces on this D-line, but both reloaded pretty solidly. They're not going to have any problems with that. So I think both teams should actually kind of get into the backfield and cause some problems. I just like Texas's offense a little more to start, especially because Ohio State lost both their running backs. Texas returns almost their whole backfield. I do think this game goes under, maybe a first half under. I think they're both going to start slow, just getting used to their new offense, getting used to their basically brand new lines. So I think it's going to be conservative play calling to start. I don't think they're going to air it out. I think it's going to be a lot of running. So we'll see how the Ohio State's new offense can do, but I'm going to take the 2.5. I mean, you don't really get number one seeds as 2.5 point dogs either. So as long as it's a toss up, I'm going to take the Texas in 2.5 here.
All right, Kyle Hunter with Cincinnati Bengals gear behind him and Ohio State hat on. Are you on the Buckeyes?
Listen, I'm a massive Buckeyes fan, and I have to say it's super nice to talk about the defending champs here. That's my quick fan moment here. I will tell you, I really don't like betting Ohio State games very much because I'm already invested in these games as a fan. So I like talking about them. I don't love betting them. I think if I had to bet this game, I would probably bet Texas just because I think they have a little bit less unknown than Ohio State. Definitely not one of those guys that just wants to bet my team all the time. But at the same time, if you don't feel like you have a big edge, how fun is it to watch a big game with a bet against your team? I mean, that's really tough. So I better really like it if I'm going to do it. I'll say that Saiyan being picked is certainly not a surprise, and Scoop was waiting on that joke for like the last.
No, it just came naturally. No, I actually wrote it down.
Yeah, you have that written down. I already know you do.
I have no life.
Hey, I appreciate that joke. I do. I think, Saiyan's really thrown into the fire here. I mean, Texas could have top 2 or 3 defense in the country. This is not easing your way into being a starter at quarterback. Hill's fantastic. Simmons is obviously fantastic. You think Travis Shaw's a really good pickup there in the middle of the defensive line. And I think while the hype about Manning is what most people are talking about, the defense for Texas is really their biggest strength. And that's where I would agree with what Scoop said on the under too. I think the under makes the most sense. I wish I had gotten it before the line move under the key number of 49. And I think first half under makes a lot of sense. I see 23.5 out there. I would probably bet a little bit on that first half under. The other side, Manning has sky high expectations. Like Scoop said, I think it's really not completely fair, but his last name's Manning and this is Texas. So this is what's going to happen. These are going to be the expectations. I think he'll be very good. Will he be that great from the beginning? I think it's a little tough to say. The one weakness for Texas as a team, I think, is their offensive line. The problem for Ohio State is they lost all those key guys from the defensive line that were busy in the backfield for the opponents in the playoffs. So I don't know that Ohio State can really take advantage of that well. Caleb Downs is fantastic. I could argue that he's the best defensive player in the country overall. Sure. He means a ton to that team. The Buckeyes running backs are fine, but Henderson and Judkins are not easy to replace. I think Claire will be good for Ohio State at tight end. I think he'll have a really good season. And this one, I agree with the line move on the under. I can't decide if I like the game under better or the first half under. I might sprinkle a little bit on one of those, but I think under is the best look in this game.
All right, so these guys touched on pretty much everything as far as my notes on these two teams. So I'll just share my thoughts on the game. Ohio State as a 2.5 point favorite in Columbus. If we're talking about on the full season, if this was week 9, I would say that's about right. These two teams about even on a neutral. I can live with that. That's probably what I have as well. But the opener, I think just returning experience, you have to give the slight edge to Texas on the defensive side specifically. Arch Manning, by no means is he experienced, but he's more experienced than Saiyan is. So the fact that this is the opener instead of having that pick'em or having that pick'em on a neutral, I would probably have Texas laying 1.5 too. So I'm with Scoop. I did bet Texas plus 2.5, but just like Scoop, would I be betting this game if it wasn't like the marquee, like everyone in the world is going to be watching this? Maybe not, but I probably would have it closer to a pick, maybe Ohio State -1. So maybe that's where the line's going. I did get a Texas plus 2.5 at the flat -110 though. That's in my pocket. So I'm on the Longhorns. Don't let me down, Arch Manning.
Yeah, at least Ohio State plays Grambling in Ohio next, so that's a nice. Even if they lose, they'll have a nice way for saying
they'll take their frustrations out.
Yeah, they're gonna win by 50 each game.
Next up, LSU Clemson. This is such a tough one. Kyle Hunter, LSU Clemson. Give us the rundown.
I mean, the battle of the Tigers here. This is must-see TV. I have to take Clemson if I'm taking a side in this game. This is a LSU team that their one biggest weakness is their offensive line. They lost so much talent from the offensive line from last year. Clemson with Tom Allen as defensive coordinator now is going to get after it. I think they'll get a lot of sacks this year. And I think that Garrett Nussmeier better get used to seeing a lot of Clemson guys in the backfield here in this one. I I'm very high on Clemson. It's completely opposite from what we talked about in the last game. Clemson returns just about everybody. I mean, they most returning production out of anyone. Sweeney is in his best chance here recently to go for another national title. I think defensively they'll be much better than they were last year. Clemson had a few years there where the wide receivers weren't quite as good, but now they're back. Williams, Moore, the youngsters, they're very good wide receivers again. Klubnik took that big jump that everybody was waiting on. And even me, I was like, is Klubnik going to take that step forward? He just wasn't getting there. Then we saw it at the end of last year. I think he played very well. LSU, defensively, Baker's clearly proven himself as a good defensive coordinator. I do trust that LSU's defense will get better throughout the season. Perkins and Weeks are definitely stars. The secondary's disappointed year after year. I know they have some new guys in. They probably should improve some. They were 98th in the country in yards per attempt as a secondary last year. So struggled quite a bit there. They have great skill position talent on offense, but I think the offensive line is going to let them down here in a game like this. I really like the upside of this Clemson team. Lots of returning talent. Both teams will be up for this game. This should be a fantastic one. And, if it weren't for Ohio State and Texas, this would be like one of the biggest first week games we'd ever seen. And even as a Buckeyes fan, in some ways, I'm more excited to watch this game than I am Ohio State, Texas. I think this is a fantastic game. Brian Kelly has plenty to prove. Sweeney's kind of not embraced the transfer portal like a lot of other people have. And yet, he dips his toe in this year a little bit. And I think his team has a really good chance to make a good run. So I'll take Clemson here in this one.
So it's hard to disagree with Clemson on the side. I'd like to get your thoughts on, I'm looking at an under 57.5, but it seems like this total is just dead set. It's been open since mid-July, sitting at 56.5, 57. I'm wondering, are they just not taking any action on this total? I kind of want to go under 57.5. Do you have any thoughts on the total, Kyle?
Yeah, definitely lean under. LSU team total under is something that I like as well, just because of what I said. But I think the under makes sense too. Really good defensive coordinators. Both teams could have some pressure in the backfield with LSU having a good pass rush as well. And I don't think LSU will want to play that fast on offense. I think that they probably want to slow this game down a little bit. I think 57.5 is a bit too high. And it wouldn't surprise me to see that go down a little bit before the game.
Agreed. It would be the under for me. And obviously, you don't need me to repeat what he said about Clemson's defensive front. With all those, LSU lost 4 starters on the offensive line to the NFL, 4 of the 5. And Clemson's defensive line, probably, they have definite 2 NFL players on it, probably 3. So this is a mismatch, especially in the opener. Clemson's defensive front's going to be a nightmare for LSU's offensive line. Agree 100%. Where on the other side, I'm a little more optimistic on LSU's defense than you seem to be. I think this is pretty good. Whit Weeks is going to be ready. Well, he's projected to be ready for the opener, which is huge. It's an all-conference linebacker. Looks like he's good to go. His injury in camp was kind of the talk there. Nussmeier should be good to go also, by the way. He was dealing with something. But as far as the injury concerns with LSU, it looks like they're all clean bill of health across the board. Harold Perkins coming back. I mean, this dude was probably the best defensive player in college football a couple years back, 2 or 3 years ago, had the serious injury. They've got 2 transfers coming in that you can plug in and immediate in the defensive backfield I'm talking about now. Halsey and Tulane come in. I mean, these are all conference. Halsey was first team Big 12 last year. He's going to immediately start at safety and be better than what they had last year. Same goes for Tulane at corner from Virginia Tech. He's a 3-year starter, all ACC last year. So in addition to having Harold Perkins back, who I think is one of the best defensive players in the country, you got a first team SEC linebacker back, and you got a secondary that I think as soon as they take the field in week 1, immediately are better than what they had last year. I think LSU's defense is pretty strong. That being said, I'm not going to disagree with Clemson on a side. This is it. I mean, they're loaded. The question is, because I honestly think Clemson at home should be laying about 6 here. So I would agree. The question is, like, there's the second part. There's the first part, based on the talent and experience, where should this number be? And I'd be like, probably around 5.5, 6. So I would lean towards Clemson. The second part is, do I see that happening? And it's like, could I see Clemson just coming out and choking and have all of Twitter cursing Clemson out? Like, I can 100% see that because Clemson's going to be the popular pick, and I can see the Twitter feed already. People are like, Clemson sucks. Like, I can see it. So I honestly, I'm going to
happen last year, right?
No, last year was LSU USC. Wait,
No, I'm saying Clemson. Clemson week 1 last year.
who they play? No, the Duke game. Everyone was cursing about last year.
Yeah.
So I think I'm going to bet this under. I haven't bet it yet, but I think I'm going to take this under 57.5. Scoop, what do you think?
Yeah, you guys pretty much had all my notes there. First of all, our Super Bowl is Rutgers, Ohio tomorrow. Me and Kyle's. So that's
we're in Jersey.
Yeah, that's our team. Let's go Scarlet Knights. I mean, I'm going with Clemson too. First of all, you have LSU hasn't won a week 1 game since Georgia Southern in 2019. Since then, they lost to Mississippi State, UCLA, Florida State twice, and USC last year. And now you're going to Death Valley, one of the favorites to win the championship this year. I don't really see it happening. I know Clemson in their week 1 matchups haven't been great either, but like Kyle said, Clemson returns like everyone. I mean, the depth's there, offense and defense is there. I agree with Sauce. LSU, I think, is going to have a better defense. I think it's going to be solid this year. But, I mean, Clemson's offense is absolutely loaded. It's Dabo's best offense in years. The offensive line is pretty much all back here, and LSU lost their 4 defensive linemen to start this game. So I think that Clemson's going to have a lot of time to throw the ball. And also, like Kyle said, I think they're going to get after Nussmeier a lot. I think they're going to – Tom Allen's going to load up a bunch of blitz packages. I think Nussmeier's going to be under pressure a lot. I know these are 2 Heisman leading quarterbacks. I think both of them might struggle a little to start the game. But I definitely like Clemson's team here overall. I think they have a lot of production back. I just love that they're home. And I think 3.5, like you just said, is a little too low. I think this should be around 6, maybe 5.5, 6. So, yeah, I mean, I'm going to take Clemson. I know everyone's probably riding the Clemson train, going undefeated this year, Clemson. But
they probably will.
Yeah, I mean, there's a good chance. But, I'm with them on this game. I mean, I think this is a good start. I mean, if they win this game, it's hard to see them losing the rest of the year. So.
All right, 1 game left. And Kyle Hunter, you have the floor here. Me and Scoop talked about this game on Monday. We're both on the Hokies. So it's all you. I'm putting Virginia Tech graphics up for me and Scoop. You have the floor. Are you with us on Virginia Tech?
All right, well, go ahead and put a Virginia Tech graphic up for me as well. It's going to be 3 for 3. I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing. We'll see about the consensus.
According to the community, it's a terrible thing.
Okay, well, I hope they're wrong. I hope they're wrong. And this is not really, I mean, I know people are going to say, Sellers, he's fantastic. He is fantastic. I mean, I think all of us would say Lenore Sellers is absolutely a dude. The problem is how much they lost around him. And on the defensive line lost so much for South Carolina. I think the people who think you can just plug and play and get the kind of stats that they had last year, I think that's really hard to do. I mean, South Carolina lost a lot on defense. And, South Carolina offensively 106th at PFF in pass blocking grade, 102nd at PFF in run blocking grade. Their offensive line's bad. And so it puts a lot of pressures on Sellers. He doesn't have great wide receivers. I know they have good tight ends. The running back's gone from last year in Sanders. I know the Utah State transfer could be fine there. The secondary, I think Eamon Warrior is going to be missed really badly. And here, if we look at the other team, Virginia Tech, I mean, there's still some question marks about Virginia Tech. This is more a fade of South Carolina for me than it is me wanting to bet Virginia Tech badly. But Virginia Tech, I mean, wasn't it last year that everybody loved Virginia Tech? And they're like, Virginia Tech, Kyron Drones, this is going to be amazing. And now this year, it's like nobody thinks anything of Virginia Tech. Virginia Tech's coach is coaching for his job this year. Like he ought to be ready to go here this year and be pulling out all the stops. I think Drones is really good. Philip Montgomery's system could be good for him. The offensive line probably improved with those 2 West Virginia offensive line transfers coming in. Question marks about the defense a bit. Virginia Tech having lost Powell Ryland on the defensive line, I think that's a pretty big loss. But Virginia Tech excellent on special teams. This is a game where I feel like it stays pretty close throughout. 7.5 points is too much for me to pass up. I have to take the plus 7.5. I think South Carolina has a decent chance of winning the game, and they should be favored certainly. But north of a touchdown, I'm taking the dog here.
Yeah, agreed. Me and Scoop agree, and we don't have to go through everything we already talked about on Monday. But just the best way to quickly summarize how I feel about South Carolina is I feel like people might have a distorted vision of what they were last year based on the highlights and the storylines, and it was all about Sellers. Not that Sellers wasn't amazing. I mean, he looks to be a top tier talent for real. But you know what? We were saying the same things about Drones a year ago, like Kyle just said. But if you look at the actual data and what was South Carolina last year, they were a run-first program with an elite defense. Now, Sellers contributed a lot to that rushing attack, but Rocket Sanders was a big part of that as well. And the defense is gone. The entire defense is in the NFL, and Rocket Sanders is in the NFL as well. He's on Cleveland. So they most of what South Carolina was last year is gone. What remains is Sellers, which elite talent. The rest of the team around him is pretty much gone. He's got a couple receivers there that have high ceilings. I forget that one receiver's name. He's like 6'7", though. Like, what's his name, too? He's like 235. He's like Terrell Owens, and I can't remember his name, that receiver they got there. But he could be a big-time NFL talent. But we haven't really seen it yet. It's kind of just like a part of the hype train that is South Carolina. I got a plus 8.5 because of the week 1, week 0. The lines have been open forever. I don't get many opportunities to get good numbers. Hey, I might have got a good number in one finally. I got a plus 8.5. Scoop? Well, you don't have to go through everything.
No, I'll just say really quick. I mean, like I said the other day, I mean, Drones hasn't lost a double-digit game. So everything has been 10 or fewer. 3 of them were one-possession games last year. Ever. 3 of them were one-possession games last year. And like I said, he was constantly banged up last year. He's fully healthy going into this one. I think 7.5, 8's too much. And like Kyle said, I mean, the front 7 of South Carolina is just like decimated. I mean, everyone's gone except Stewart, who's awesome. But yeah, I feel like this is going to be a running team for Virginia Tech. I feel like they're going to have their way on the running the ball. So yeah, I mean, even though they lost Tootin, like I said, they have a solid deep running back room. So I feel like this is definitely a Virginia Tech spot here.
All right, Kyle, where can the folks find your stuff?
You can check out huntersportspicks.com is my website, at Kyle Hunter Picks there on X. I try to post quite a bit over there. And guys, this was fun. Enjoy talking college football with you guys. Yeah,
and he's on the Bet US show too. Just follow him on Twitter. He'll tweet out when he's on. And follow Scoop on Twitter too if you're looking for some terrible analysis. Joking, obviously. That's Scoop's Twitter.
No, he's not. He's definitely
not. Everyone, have a good one. Talk to y'all tomorrow. Thanks for watching, guys. So I'm putting a link in the comments if you want to see a video where I just specifically go through Thursday games. So that video I just put in that link I just put in the comments is just Thursday, just the games, well, today, technically. So the games that are on Thursday, I go through in that video if you want to check that out. But thanks, everyone, for watching. We'll be back tomorrow. Week 1 is here. There's a lot of football in the next 72 hours. Let's have a good one. I'll talk to you. I'll also put the link to this video in the comments of the video as well. So if you're watching